What happens when a billionaire, desperate to save face at the city's grandest gala, pulls aside the last person anyone would expect, a janitor, and begs her to just pretend to be my date? No one in the Golden Hall imagined that this ordinary woman, with calloused hands and tired eyes, would steal not just the spotlight, but his guarded heart. This is not just a story about wealth and status, it's about dignity, courage, and the kind of love that doesn't need a price tag. Stay with me till the end, because what unfolds will leave you breathless. Ethan Harrington, the city's youngest self-made billionaire, stood in the towering lobby of his own hotel empire. Polished marble gleamed beneath the crystal chandeliers, but Ethan wasn't looking at the luxury he built, he was staring at his phone, dreading the night ahead. The annual Harrington Charity Gala was not just a gathering, it was the battlefield of reputations. Every CEO, politician, and socialite would be there. And after a very public breakup with his fiancée just weeks ago, Ethan knew the sharks would circle him if he showed up alone. He needed someone, anyone, to stand by his side. But not just to fill a space. He needed someone genuine, someone who wouldn't manipulate or betray him. That's when he saw her. Sophie. Bent over, scrubbing the edge of the marble floor near the service hall, hair tied in a messy bun, her blue janitor's uniform faded from endless washes. She didn't even notice him watching, she was too busy picking up a candy wrapper a careless guest had dropped. For some reason, Ethan's chest tightened. In her quiet focus, there was a dignity most of his wealthy acquaintances lacked. And before he could stop himself, the words left his mouth. Just pretend to be my date tonight. Sophie froze, mop in hand, and looked up at him as though he'd grown two heads. Excuse me. You heard me, Ethan said, forcing a calm tone. I need someone at my side tonight. No strings, just, pretend. Her eyes narrowed. I clean your floors, Mr. Harrington. I don't belong in your world. But Ethan only smiled faintly. Maybe that's exactly why I'm asking you. That evening, Sophie stood in front of a mirror inside one of the guest suites, wearing a simple navy gown Ethan had arranged. Her reflection didn't look like the janitor who mopped floors at 3 a.m., she looked like a woman stepping into a world that was never meant for her. But as she entered the ballroom with Ethan's hand resting lightly against her back, whispers exploded around them. Who is she? Not another model. A nobody, clearly. The golden chandeliers reflected in Sophie's eyes, but she felt the weight of every stare like 1,000 needles. Ethan, however, leaned close and whispered, ignore them. Just stay with me. As the night progressed, Sophie's natural warmth began to shine. While other women flaunted diamonds. She bent down to help a waiter who dropped a tray. While the elite exchanged hollow pleasantries, Sophie laughed, genuinely laughed, at Ethan's dry humor, a sound so rare it startled him. But the tension grew when Ethan's ex, Cassandra, arrived in shimmering silver, her voice laced with venom. So this is your date? Janitor? Gasps circled. Sophie's face burned red, but she didn't crumble. She lifted her chin and, with a calm strength, said, yes. I clean floors. But at least I don't step on people while doing it. The room went silent. For the first time in years, Ethan felt proud, not of his wealth, but of the woman beside him. As the gala continued, Ethan realized Sophie wasn't just playing a role, she was holding her own against a world designed to break her. When the board members questioned her, she answered honestly, humbly, never pretending to be someone she wasn't. But the evening turned when a rival billionaire, Victor Crane, mocked Ethan publicly. Desperate enough to bring the janitor, Harrington? What's next, letting her run your company? The crowd laughed. Sophie's hands trembled, but Ethan placed his over hers. Don't let them decide your worth, he whispered. Then, to everyone's shock, Sophie stepped forward. Her voice shook at first but grew steadier. Maybe I don't belong in gowns and ballrooms. But I do know this, people like me clean up after your messes, hold doors open for your families, and work 2 jobs to make sure you can keep sipping champagne. So laugh all you want. But remember, without us, your perfect world collapses. Silence fell. For the first time, the elite couldn't sneer, they could only stare. And Ethan, his chest pounding, realized something dangerous. He wasn't pretending anymore. The gala ended, but the night's fire didn't fade. Alone on the balcony, the city lights glowing beneath them, Ethan finally turned to Sophie. "You were supposed to be a shield," he whispered. "Just a pretend date. But you," he paused, his throat tight. "You made me remember what's real." Sophie's eyes softened, though uncertainty lingered. "And what if your world doesn't want someone like me in it?" Ethan smiled, not the rehearsed billionaire smile, but something raw. "Then it's not a world worth keeping." The city hummed below, but for once, Ethan Harrington wasn't standing alone at the top. They said she didn't belong. They said a janitor couldn't stand in the halls of the powerful. But that night, Sophie reminded them all, that true worth isn't measured in gowns or gold, but in courage, kindness, and the strength to stand tall when the world tries to tear you down. Ethan thought he was asking for a pretend date, but instead, he found the woman who made everything real. "So tell me, who really stole the gala that night?"